Thank you for joining us in episode 5 and the final part of my fireside conversation with the Managing Director of Afrigen Biologics, Professor Petro Terblanche. Please tune in to hear what the company has achieved and its hopes to leapfrog onto bigger things with the right partners. So let's quickly jump onto another product that Afrigen makes, the adjuvants, which are really components of vaccines that improve the potency of a vaccine and how long the protection that is generated by a vaccine can last. So you're involved in developing bulk manufacturing, adjuvant, and other biologics, supplying and distributing them to address unmet health needs. Which adjuvants and biologics are you already making? Can you tell us a little bit about those products and what you're doing in-house?
So maybe let me put that correctly. We have a number of adjuvant formulations and a number of adjuvants we're working with. We have a full library that we formulate. And of course, some of it is dose sparing, some of it is repurposing vaccines, and some of it is also for host-directed therapy. So our portfolio is in R&D space. We have supplied adjuvant formulations to partners for R&D purposes because our facility, which we started to build, we're a young company. We started to build on the 27th of April 2020, in the midst of lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown. We started building our GMP facilities, and in February this year, we started building the mRNA vaccine facility, and it's done. So we now have HVAC systems, we have GMP facilities that we can start engaging on business-to-business agreements to formulate and supply adjuvants. We have, for the last 3 years of our scientific work, worked with vaccine candidates, and it's quite interesting. Most of our vaccine candidates are in the veterinary space. And there's a few reasons for it. Our adjuvants are applicable to veterinary, but also because the hurdles to regulatory approval and the timelines to market is shorter. The platform is the same. We are working with UCT on an HIV vaccine, where we've provided a number of adjuvants with formulations, and we're busy in preclinical testing with University of Cape Town. And of course, we have a TB vaccine that we are rights to with ITRI, that's in clinical development. We are geared to provide adjuvants and formulated adjuvants to partners outside of Big Pharma. As you know, the adjuvant and adjuvant formulation libraries mostly sit within Big Pharma, an essential part of vaccine development. We're one of the few companies outside of Big Pharma and outside the US and Europe that has the ability to formulate adjuvants and now have facilities that would meet requirements for regulatory. So we are a young company with a lot of things going, but ready to engage in significant business-to-business engagements. And that's separate from the hub. We are carefully ring-fencing the hub facilities for the social good purpose that we have now dedicated. And maybe I can just mention that what was amazing for Afrigen, we built this facility, this vaccine facility, for our own candidate vaccines to take through market. But our shareholders made the decision when the hub was announced to us to dedicate this in a public-private partnership to the hub, which is amazing. But at the same time, now, we still have our own business and our pipeline that we're moving through development.
That's a really important point to make. A young company with a very exciting combination of products that really come together very nicely to make a very strong commercial case, and really sets you up to be very competitive, I think, in the future. But I think the other thing, just looking at your company, Prof, what potential investors might be interested in knowing is that Afrigen has also been developing products in one of the fastest growing sectors in the medical cannabis sector, you have a product for controlling pain, inflammation, and anxiety. Please tell us a little bit more about the work you're doing in that space.
So this is a wonderful story and allows me again to go back to the roots of the company. So Afrigen set up this adjuvant formulation center, and we then expanded our formulation capabilities to all sorts of molecules, single molecules, APIs, biologics, because we, as a young company, we know that a formulation platform that would be really, really resilient and market relevant must be one that has depth and has scope. So we strategically choose certain molecules and certain products to formulate. And why we entered into the cannabinoid, the CBD market, is CBD oil is low bioavailability, non-soluble, not water soluble, difficult to work with, and a very, very complex mixture and a great challenge for formulation. So we use our adjuvant formulation knowledge and capabilities, and we apply that to the complex mixture of a broad spectrum cannabis oil. And we produced a water-soluble, beautiful product, which has stability, enormous stability records. We have stability chambers here. We do all the zones of the world. We have 12, 18 months stability data on a water-soluble CBD that you can now put in beverages, in food. You can put it in medicines. And we then made a decision, just because we wanted to learn how to take a product to market, to take our CBD products to market. And we actually launched 6 SKUs in the CBD range: a balm, a muscle rub, fantastic muscle rub, a dropper, a sachet, for as a complementary medicine. And we're exporting that to the US. We are doing we have partnerships in the UK with TTS Pharma, a wonderful partnership to move into the UK market, and we have filed a novel food dossier with TTS Pharma to get regulatory approval in the US. And in South Africa, we have SAPRA-CAMS approval for our 6 SKUs. We, in the next 2 weeks, will launch a veterinary range for cats and dogs. And the beautiful one, the cat one, we formulated in a paste. You put a little dose on the foot of the cat and they leak it, because that's the behavior of cats. So this is something that the team did because we wanted to build the depth and the scope for our capabilities. And it actually now is a fun project that also has suddenly brought enormous value into this company.
Wow, yours has got to be one of the most exciting companies coming out of Africa right now. It's pretty incredible. I mean, medical cannabinoids are an area of huge potential interest. The FDA, the UK MHRA have approved products to treat seizures in young children, and the market is estimated to be worth $16 billion in 2021, and will be growing, projected to grow to $46 billion in 5 years. So a huge area of growth, mostly driven by the US and European market, to which it sounds like you have already entered. What are the trends in Africa? How big is the opportunity for medical cannabinoids in the African space?
I think the long-term opportunity will escalate as the rest of the world. But at the moment, regulatory issues is holding this industry back. There are very few African countries that has regulatory systems in place and put regulatory enabling empowerment into place. Even in South Africa, there's still a lot of uncertainty around way forward. So I think Africa will lag the way for the rest of the world. But Africa has a number of growers now. I think where Africa is getting stronger. If you look at Lesotho, look at what is going to happen in Malawi, Zimbabwe licensing
also, yes.
growers. So I think this will lag, but it's gonna first blossom around cultivation.
Yes.
and then, of course, extraction, and then we'll look at the medicinal applications. And Afrigen certainly are in connecting with some of these growers to get access to oil, because at the moment we import our oil from the United States,
Right.
and we then convert it here in this beautiful product. And we actually also have gone into clinical trials. I've omitted to mention that we already preparing for our first clinical trial with Pharma, which is the clinical trial organization based in South Africa in Bloemfontein. And what we're going to do is demonstrate that our highly soluble, stable cannabinoid CBD mixture has a superior bioavailability, because that then gives us the dose sparing. It gives us control over dose and dose response effects.
I think it will definitely have a lot of potential in Africa as once the awareness grows of its medical application and how other countries are increasingly using it for medical purposes. So it will catch on, I think, in Africa. So very exciting combination of products, very exciting project. What will it take for Afrigen to start producing mRNA vaccines at scale? How far are we from that?
So we have the facility completed with basic equipment, autoclaves, washers, HVAC system. We're waiting for the equipment, which will be end-to-end equipment. That may take another 3 to 6 months, but parallel with that, we are now doing the training and developing the drug substance and drug product. It will take funding, which I believe now for the hub will come. We are fairly secure. We require the tech partner. To really fast track us, we need a tech partner with experience on scale, process, QA, QC to partner with us. That will fast track us. And we need to hire people. We're gonna recruit production pharmacists, bioprocessing engineers, analytical chemists, molecular biologists, recruiting about 20 people in the next 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
Then we need to bring them together and run the processes and finalize the full process development, full technology package to be able to scale. Firstly, to biovac, firstly ourselves, a small capacity, and then to scale to biovac. And hopefully at that time, we can scale to 1 or 2 other African countries also that may be ready with their facilities.
Yes, it sounds like you have done a lot by yourselves, and now you need a technology partner to come on board. Money is not a big problem. You already have 2 large investors, Avacare Healthcare Group and the Industrial Development Corporation of South Africa, and presumably that will add on to the other investors who are coming on through the hub. Are you looking to bring more investors on board? And what is the one thing you would say to them which makes Afrigen's future particularly exciting that you would want them to know?
So the one beautiful thing about the hub is that the funding, because it is in a technology transfer training and social good space, it will be grant funded. So that platform and that facility will be supported through grant funding, and it has a clear mission ahead. Afrigen, at the same time, has built that facility actually to do our own commercial further development. We want to establish a mammalian cell facility. We are at the moment designing and costing. In next door, we have expanded our capacity here in terms of our buildings. We are in discussion with partners to bring monoclonal antibody technology to Africa. It does not exist. Like vaccines, there's no capacity on this continent to make a monoclonal antibody, make a biologic. So we've started a process now to design a facility, and we are sourcing capital to build that facility. Again, complementary to what Afrigen will do there. That will make us absolutely unique. We will have an mRNA facility with the COVAX vaccine, which will become commercial once it's met its objectives and the promise to Africa. the same time, we will have monoclonal antibody and biologic production here. The skills base exists. So we can pull that together. For investors, we are well supported by our shareholders and both our shareholders. But we want to really leapfrog. We want to go to the next level of significant investment, $100 million to build, expand this capacity. We've demonstrated that we can deliver. We've demonstrated that this is a team that can take a product to market. We need partners to come with us. And our shareholders' view is we want a partner that brings technology and markets and money, not only money. We want partners that can bring to for us a combination of things. So if there are people like that, we would be, companies like that, we would be very open to engage.
Wonderful. If I had money, you would be getting my money first. I would be definitely investing in your company. Prof, there is so much to talk about, and I would love to continue talking, but sadly, we've reached the end of our conversation, but I hope that we can keep talking. And so please do come back and talk to us about how things are going and new developments that are coming up. For now, we have to leave it here. Professor Petro Terblanche, the Managing Director of Afrigen Biologics and Vaccine. Thank you so much for coming on to the HSS podcast.
Thank you very much. Africa, stay with us.
It's a pleasure to have you, and keep pushing. We are working with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
If you support our work, please do subscribe, like, and share our podcast. We'd also love to hear from you. So do please send in your comments and your feedback on some of the things that you'd like to hear us discuss on this podcast. Thank you for watching.